I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 192. Try is a 4-letter word. Hello, my lady. If you have a spouse that is struggling with a pornography problem, then you are in the right place. My name is Jolene Wynn, and I am a life coach, a member of the LDS faith, and the wife of a former porn addict. And in this podcast, I am going to teach you how to change the way that you are affected by your husband's choices. We can't change him, but what we can do is change the way that you respond when he makes the decisions that he does. I'm going to teach you how to manage your brain, how to process all of the emotions that seem so overwhelming to you so that you can finally live a life where you aren't living in fear of triggers and relapses. And by learning how to manage your mind and process your emotions, you are no longer going to be running on an emotional roller coaster, but you are going to start feeling so much more in control of your life no matter what your husband is doing. And I'm going to teach you all of that on this podcast. I can't wait to get started with you, and I'm so glad that you are here. I promise you, you're in the right place. Hello, my ladies. I am excited to talk to you guys today. I am every single week, but today I'm super excited because what I had planned on talking to you guys about is not what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about trying and how it's a 4-letter word. And my clients know this, but I've been thinking about it a lot recently and I wanted to bring it up. And I'm also excited because I have changed my mind, which I do and I get to do. Next week, I was going to host a masterclass on goals. And to be honest, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not. I have been seeing every coach and entrepreneur and motivational speaker and everybody on the internet, mostly on Instagram, because that's the only internet I go on, talking about goals and how everybody is setting all of these goals and all of these classes on how to set goals and come learn with me and I'm going to, map out your year for you. And I think these are wonderful. And I'm a little burnout from it and I don't want to teach it. Not right now, not in January. I'm probably going to teach it another time, but instead I have a different idea for a masterclass. And this one is one that I was actually thinking of teaching in December and I didn't. And I'm excited about it. And it's going to be all about faith and God. And so it's still next week. So come join us. This is going to be inside my coaching program. You can still join us. You join my coaching program and you'll be able to access this. But starting next Monday, the 22nd, we're going to go for 4 days and I'm going to do a masterclass on how you navigate trials with faith. How are you supposed to keep your faith? How are you supposed to navigate hard things with God and reconcile the beliefs that you have, the morals and values that you have with what's actually going on in your life? How are you supposed to stay married to a man who is watching pornography, which you believe is morally wrong, and still stay with him even though he's doing this thing you're morally against? How are you supposed to reconcile that belief, right? This is going to be all about your beliefs. How are you supposed to reconcile those beliefs? How do you stay confident in your relationship and your beliefs in God and your faith in God? And how can you do all of that while you're going through something that feels like it's actively trying to break your faith? That's what this is going to be all about. So you can go to my website right now, jolenewynn.com. You can sign up. You get access to my lifetime coaching program. And we also will give you access to this class that we're going to be teaching next week. Again, it's Monday through Thursday next week. Starts next Monday, January 22nd. And we are going to be doing it every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern. So you can join live, but if you can't come live, you will still get access to all of the replays. I also want to let you guys know you should join my email list if you haven't already, because I have something that I've never done before and I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm going to be announcing it this week via email. And it has to do with if you feel like you can't afford to join my coaching program, but you still want to get some of the material and content, I am creating a way for you to have access to it. So make sure you join my email list. You can just, again, go to my website and sign up, and you'll be able to join so that you are the first to know about what's coming up. All right. Let's go, ladies. Let's talk about trying. All right. Let's talk about trying. Try is a 4-letter word. And what I mean by that is it's a bad word. And here's what I want to talk to you guys about it. Usually when we use the word try, there's multiple definitions of the word try, and usually we're using it in one way, and I want to encourage you to switch it to another way. It's more of a mindset. When you use the word try, like I'm trying to trust him, or I'm trying to get past this hurt, most of the time that is not actually accurate. What we are doing is placating ourselves and justifying how we are where we are, which is not actually trusting. And rather than say, I don't trust him, we're saying, well, I'm trying, which sounds really nice, but either we are or we aren't. And what I want to offer is, and again, and I know that this, you guys, we've talked about trust a lot, so don't just take this as a cut and dry example, okay? But typically what I want to offer is that when my clients are going through this, when they say something like, I'm trying to trust him, what I want to offer instead is that you rephrase it. Because again, let's go with the definition of the word try is to make an attempt, right? If I try something, I'm making an attempt, okay? And that's okay. We can make an attempt, but I want you to notice the mindset that when you go into something, you're like, okay, well, I'll try it. I'll try and trust him. You leave the possibility open for failure. Have you guys ever noticed this? When we try something new, or we try something we know we're not good at, or we do something different than we've normally done, we say things like, all right, well, I'm going to try it and we'll see how it goes. And that mindset of trying is not the mindset that I want to offer is the best to give you the solution or the result that you're actually looking for, right? So for example, with the trusting, you're like, okay, I'm going to try and trust him. When we say it with that mindset, we're leaving the possibility open for failure in a way that almost gives us the excuse that failure is okay. Now, I'm not saying that it's not fine. We've talked about this a lot. It's totally fine if you don't trust him, but there's a difference between saying, you know what, I don't trust him and I accept that and I'm going to change it versus, you know what, I don't know if I trust him or not, but I'm trying. And that's fine. Again, mostly what I want you to question yourself is, am I expecting myself to fail? Am I just telling myself that I'm trying without actually doing the work and just telling myself that I'm trying to make myself feel better, which is how we normally do it. Does this make sense? I hope this is making sense to you guys. It all made a lot of sense in my head. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking, so hopefully it fleshes it out and you guys follow me, okay? Again, most of the time we tell ourselves that we're trying. Another good example of this is, well, I'm trying to lose weight. Okay, well, either we're losing weight or we're not, okay? That's just a fact. Either I am the same weight, I am gaining weight, or I am losing weight, okay? Circumstantially, if we just looked at the number on the scale, okay? Trying to lose weight is something we often tell ourselves when we aren't actually making the effort or doing the actions that will produce the result that we're looking for. Now, sometimes we are doing the right actions, we just haven't seen the result yet. And this is when it's more difficult to hold that belief, right? If you guys go back a couple episodes, this summer sometime, I did a podcast episode called Believing Harder, okay? Belief is what comes in when you have no evidence, okay? We don't need belief if we have evidence, then we just see, right? I don't need to believe that I can lose weight if I see myself actually losing weight. I just look at it and I can just see it, okay? So I don't actually have to believe that I'm losing weight. I can just see that I'm losing weight. Right? Belief comes in when we don't have any evidence. When we are losing weight, we are putting in the result or the work, we just haven't seen the result yet. The result hasn't caught up yet. Maybe we haven't done the work long enough to see the result yet. And that's when we hold belief in that space. But that's not trying, that's actually doing. And I want to encourage you to make that mindset shift to talk about it differently. Rather than say, I'm trying to lose weight, which typically we then say, well, it's not really working, or we don't give enough time for ourselves to see the results that we're creating, or we don't even put the results in or the work in. You guys, my words today. I hope you guys are following me. This is just ridiculous. Okay, we aren't putting the work in. We're just telling ourselves that we're trying because it makes ourselves feel better, right? If I tell myself, well, I'm really trying to lose weight, but I'm not actually changing anything about my eating or my exercise or any of my routines, then I'm not actually trying. But telling myself that I'm trying makes me feel better, right? Or what I want to offer is a difference. It's where you say, I am losing weight. I am changing my habits. I am doing everything I can today to get where I want to go. And that is completely different in a mindset experience than saying, I'm trying to lose weight. You guys following me? Same thing with trust, okay? These are just the examples that came up for me. We could use this in so many examples. I'm trying to trust my husband. Okay, well, either I'm trusting him or I'm not. Again, it's a choice. It's a decision that you make, okay? So either I'm choosing to trust him or I'm not choosing to trust him. And that's totally fine. And you can choose either one. But if you're not trusting him right now and you want to change that, what I want to offer is that you can say, you know what? I'm choosing to trust him and accepting when I don't. And I can change both if I want to. Accepting that it's 100% in my control, that I am doing the things that I need to be doing in order to trust him. When we say I'm trying to trust him, but we're not actually looking at our thoughts, processing the emotion, then we're just doing the same thing as telling ourselves that we're trying to lose weight, but we're not actually doing any of the work to make it possible. Same thing. I'm trying to trust him. If we just say I'm trying to trust him, but we're not actually looking at the thoughts and processing the emotion and doing the internal work to make that shift, then we're just telling ourselves something to make ourselves feel better about the fact that we don't trust him. Does this make sense? You guys with me? Are you following? I wish you guys could respond, okay? I just want you to be on the lookout, have a little BOLO out in your brain. BOLO is be on the lookout for when you find yourself using the word try. Because try is often, again, I'm just going to say this a million times, what we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better. And it doesn't actually indicate that we're making any movement or progression toward where we want to go. And I want you to be aware of this because our brain is super sneaky and uses the word try to make ourselves feel so good about the amount of effort that we're making in our lives. And we do make a lot of effort. And we feel like we don't even have any more effort to give because we're making so much effort, right? It's like, well, I'm trying to not yell at my kids. Okay, this is a personal example. Okay, I'm trying to not, these are all personal examples, P.S. The trust, the losing weight, the yelling at my kids. These are all my own examples, okay? So trying not to yell at my kids. If you say, all right, I'm really trying not to yell at my kids as much. Okay, either I'm yelling at my kids the same or I'm not. Okay, that's the result. Okay, trying is something I'm going to tell myself. And what does that actually look like? Most of the time, when people say they're trying to do something, they mean they're beating themselves up for it after they've done it. Okay, I'm trying to lose weight. Mostly what that means is, well, I'm just really hating myself every time I binge eat at 9 o'clock at night. Or if I'm trying to not yell at my kids, what that means is I just beat myself up internally and tell myself I'm just a horrible mom and a terrible person anytime I do yell at my kids after I have a few minutes to calm down and I feel horrible about it. And that's what and then I swear I never do it. I swear that I'll never do it again or I'll get better at it next time. And that's what I mean by trying. You guys with me? Does this sound familiar? That's typically what we think of trying. Trying is not beating yourself up after the fact, okay? Trying is not what we need to do, okay? Trying is not what we need. What we need to do is actually take a look at it, or what we can do, not need to, but what we can do is take a look at it instead and say, all right, I've been yelling at my kids, and I don't want to yell at them as much anymore. I know it's going to happen sometimes, totally fine. I want to change how I'm talking to my kids. So let me do the work. Let me address why I'm doing it. Let me look at the thoughts. Let me learn how to process the feelings and let me do those. And when I'm doing those, I'm not trying, I'm actually doing. And it's very important to give yourself the credit for the work that you are doing and the results that you are having, because that is what keeps you going. When you look and shift, when you look at your mind, when you look at all this internal work you're doing, and ladies, I know you're doing a ton because you're listening to this podcast every single week and you are applying it and you're doing incredible work. And I want you to give yourself credit for it. And that doesn't look like trying. It's actually doing and taking credit for the doing that you're doing. Okay? It's not just I'm trying to get over my husband's pornography problem. It's I am. And here's how I'm doing it. And here are the results that I'm having. And if I'm not having the results that I want yet, then let me take a look at it and see what I need to shift. It's a very big difference between I'm just going to try really hard, I'm just going to make this attempt, or I'm just going to tell myself that I'm trying, but I'm not really. Try is a 4-letter word. Look out for it wherever you see it and take notice of it, because either you're just making yourself feel better and you're not actually putting in the work to create the results, which is important to know, not because we want to beat ourselves up for it, but because we want to know what it is that we're actually putting in and what we're not, so that we can actually create the results that we want. Or we can take a look and say, okay, either I'm doing it or I'm not. And if I am doing it, then let me give myself credit. And I give you permission, ladies, to tell yourself that you're actually doing it. Okay? Not just trying, but you're actually succeeding. And maybe you haven't seen the scale shift yet. But what you are doing is changing yourself from the inside out in order to create the result that you're looking for. Okay? Does this make sense? Another definition of the word try is to subject to something such as undue strain or excessive hardship that tests the powers of endurance. This is the definition that I want to offer that you switch to. Okay, remember the first one is to make an attempt. Okay, it's like you're going to make an attempt to do this. Maybe you'll fail. Maybe you won't get it right. Maybe you won't actually be capable of doing it. And that's what I don't like about the word try, because I feel like it has a lot to do with ability. Okay. Now, I haven't talked about this on the podcast, but I'm going to do it on a future one. Let me just break it down right here. There is a difference between ability and capacity. Okay. When we talk about the word try, we often think of it in terms of skill. It has nothing to do with skill. Your ability to lose weight has nothing to do with skill. It has nothing to do with your talents, okay? It's not like, oh, if I were a better runner, then I would lose weight. No, it has nothing to do with that. Trusting your husband has nothing to do with a talent or a skill, okay? It's not about your ability. You don't need to learn a new skill in order to trust. It's about your capacity. Okay. And this is why I don't like the word try, because we often use it in terms of ability, not capacity. It has nothing to do with your skill. It has to do with your capacity to see the negative in yourself and not make it mean something negative about you, to look at your thoughts and change them, to feel negative emotion. This is the biggest life-changing skill you could have, is the capacity, increasing your capacity to feel emotion, increasing your capacity to feel negative and positive, increasing your capacity to wait for those results to come, increasing your capacity to keep continuously putting in that effort until you see the results you're looking for. Does this make sense? Try implies that there is a skill that you are lacking, that there's an ability out there that someone has that you don't. And that's what you just don't have. And so that's why you just can't have the results you're looking for. And all of that is false. Whatever it is that you are right now, quote unquote, trying to do is absolutely within your control. And it's not about an ability that you don't have, that someone else has. So that's why they get to have the result that you want, that you don't. None of that is true, okay? Rather than use the word try and use it like you're making an attempt, I want to offer that if you do use the word try, what we're doing is we're talking about subjecting to something, an undue strain or excessive hardship that tests the powers of your endurance. That's the try that I want to offer. And that comes with a completely different mindset shift. That looks like saying, this is going to be hard, I'm doing it. And I'm going to stay here, and it's going to test the powers of my endurance, and I'm doing it anyway. And I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it. And it's not about trying, it's about doing. And when you're in that, you're not just trying, you're actually doing it, even if you don't see the results yet. Even if you haven't seen that scale drop even 1 pound. If you are putting in the work, if you're putting in the effort, then you are creating a change. You are losing weight. You just haven't seen it yet. It just hasn't caught up to you yet. You just haven't done it long enough yet. Okay? Same thing with trust. If you are trusting your husband, if you are choosing trust, then you are trusting him. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels like you're doing it wrong, even if a little bit of distrust comes up, that doesn't mean that you're not doing it right. It means you keep going, even if you haven't seen the result you're looking for yet. Now, that doesn't mean that we just blindly pretend like we're doing all the right things. Okay, that's not what I mean. it does take honesty. We have to look at ourselves and say, okay, am I actually doing the things that are going to create the result that I'm looking for? Whether that result is not yelling at my kids or losing weight or trusting my husband, whatever it is, changing how I feel about my body, loving my kids when they're being exceptionally difficult, whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is that we feel like we're trying to do, let's look at it and say, okay, how am I trying? What are the things? Take a list. This is an actual exercise I want you to do. Look, just ask yourself in your mind, number one, what is it that I'm trying to do? Am I trying not to lose my faith? Am I trying to improve my relationship with my sister-in-law? Am I trying to lose weight? This is a great time because this month of the year is typically when we come up with all the list of things we're trying to do, okay? Am I trying to not yell at my kids? Whatever it is, write those down. Okay, that's number one. Write down all the things that you are quote unquote trying to do. Number two, what are the things I'm actually doing that are making an effort? Okay, I say that I'm trying to improve my relationship with my sister-in-law. What does that actually look like? What does that actually look like? It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to text her more often. Okay, great. Let's actually look at though, remember what a relationship is? A relationship is just your thoughts and feelings about the other person. That's it. So if you really want to improve your relationship with your sister-in-law or anyone in your life, what it requires is taking a look at your thoughts and your feelings. That's it, right? So am I looking at my thoughts and my feelings? Am I processing my emotion? Am I questioning my belief? Am I processing past pain and actually letting it go so that I can make room for some positive emotions and not carrying around grudges, right? Let's take a look at what am I actually doing? If I tell myself that I'm trying to lose weight, am I actually trying? What are the things that I'm doing and not doing? Have I changed anything at all? And this is super important, ladies, when you make this list, your brain really wants to tell you, yes, I'm making all of this effort. Jolene doesn't even know how much effort I'm making. She's making it seem like everything I'm doing is not good enough. And that's not what I'm saying. What I want to offer is we need to take an honest look. Because if you actually I'm guessing that list that you made of things that you're trying are things you actually wish that were true, right? I wish I had a better relationship with my sister-in-law. I wish that I actually was 30 pounds lighter. I wish that I actually trusted my husband. I wished that I enjoyed sex, right? All the things, we actually want those. But we can't have those if we lie to ourselves or beat ourselves up about how we're getting there. Does this make sense? If we aren't honest with ourselves about what we are doing to get those, then we can't actually achieve them. We can't change the behavior in order to create the result that we want. And what we actually want is all of those things that we tell ourselves that we're trying to create. Does this make sense? So when you make this list of things I'm trying and you look and say, okay, what is it that I am and am not doing? Be honest and leave all the judgment at the door. We don't need any self-judgment. This is step number one, is awareness. That's what we're doing. And then we have to have step number two, which is acceptance. Okay? Acceptance means I'm okay with where I am because it doesn't mean anything about me. It's one of the reasons why we use the word try is because we want to make ourselves feel better about what we are and are not doing. We want to make ourselves feel better about the result that we don't have because of what we make it mean about ourselves if we don't have it. Or if we're not actually putting in the effort that we know that we could be putting in, right? If I tell myself I'm really trying to lose weight, but I'm not actually putting in the effort, it's hard to take a look at that. It is, ladies, I've done it. It's hard to look in the mirror and say, I'm not actually putting in the effort. What have I actually tried? I haven't actually tried that many things. Mostly what I've tried is just beating myself up for any time I eat and beating myself up for any time I skip a workout. That's mostly what I've been doing. That's not trying. That's just negative self-talk, and it's not helpful, right? It takes a lot of honesty, and this is very courageous to do, and most women don't do it, okay? Most human beings aren't as courageous as you guys, and they aren't as amazing, and so they're not doing this work because this is hard work to do. It takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of humility to look at this list and say, here, I'm not actually trying. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm not doing, and that's why it's not actually creating the result that I'm looking for. Or it could be something that you say, you know what? I am trying to lose weight. I am doing all the right things. So I am losing weight. I just haven't seen the scale move yet. I am doing all the right things. I am putting in all of the effort. I just haven't given it enough time. And that's a completely different mindset shift. And then you go from trying to thinking I'm trying to actually saying I'm succeeding. And that's going to completely shift how you show up. Or what's going to happen is you're going to take a look at this list and you're going to say, okay, here's what I'm trying, say that I want to do. Here's the thing that I'm trying. Here's how I'm trying it. And it's not working. So if that's the case, what am I going to do differently? And that isn't trying. That is doing. That is problem solving. That is moving forward and creating the result that's pivoting. And that isn't just trying. That's actually doing. Ladies, I think you are so much closer to creating the results in your life than you think. And you're not giving yourself the credit for the things that you're actually doing. And then the stuff that you say that you're trying, but we're not actually making an effort, then let's take a look at that. Because if we adjust that and we shift how you're thinking about it from trying to doing, and we make those changes, and those are reflected in your actions, then you will achieve what you say right now you're just trying to achieve. I love you, ladies. You guys can do so much more than you think. I am constantly amazed and impressed by you. There is nothing holding you back. I am so proud of all of you. I love you, ladies, so much. I'll see you guys next week in a brand new episode. And for those of you who want to join me next week in our masterclass on faith and how to navigate trials with faith, then come join me today. You can sign up today, jolenewind.com, and I'll see you guys there. I love you so much. Take care. All right, ladies, it's time to rise up and take charge of your healing, and I have the best way for you to do it. I have created a lifetime access coaching program that I have designed specifically for you and exactly what you're going through right now. This is where I help you develop a personal mastery of all the tools that you're learning here on the podcast in order for you to create a permanent change. Go to my website, jolenewind.com. You will find all the information there and you can sign up today and we will start going forward. I can't wait to see you there.